And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, May 23rd. I am your host for today's program, Paul DeMain, and many of the stories we read here can be found at our website at IndianCountryTV.com. And here are some of the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A panel of appellate judges on May 22nd upheld a $3.4 billion settlement between the U.S. government and hundreds of thousands of Native American plaintiffs whose land trust royalties were mismanaged by the Interior Department. The ruling means that settlement checks could be mailed to members of the class action lawsuit within weeks, said plaintiff's attorney Dennis Gingold. Further appeals would delay that disbursement, and the attorney for the challenger, Kimberly Craven of Boulder, Colorado, said they are considering their options. The three-judge panel from the U.S. Court of Appeals from the District of Columbia dismissed the challenge by Craven, who had objected that the settlement did not include an actual accounting for how much money the government lost, and said that the deal would overcompensate a select few beneficiaries. But the judges said that in their ruling that the government would be unable to perform an accurate accounting, the deal is fair and it is the best that can be hoped for to avoid years of additional litigation. Hopi High School in Polaca, Arizona won 13 media awards, 9 for broadcast radio and 4 for journalism from the Arizona Interscholastic Press Association. Hopi High was the only Native American high school to win the awards and the only high school north of Sedona. Most of the schools winning awards were from the Phoenix and Tucson metropolitan areas. Stan Bendel, broadcast radio and journalism teacher, said he is thrilled with the awards and proud of all of his students. Bendel said the radio awards were made possible by the partnership between Hopi High School, KUYI, and the Hopi Foundation so that the Hopi High School Teen Show can air every week during the school year. The Cherokee Nation Diabetes Prevention Program recently received high marks in its quarterly update, taking top spots in participation, recruitment, and retention. The initiative has been federally funded by the Indians Competitive Grant Program since 2004 and aims to prevent diabetes in tribal communities. Since starting the program, the tribe has recruited 220 participants, successfully retaining 164 of them. Cherokee Nation's Diabetes Prevention Program helps citizens diagnosed with prediabetes, meaning their blood sugar is higher than normal but not high enough to be diagnosed with diabetes. Participants are provided with a life coach who helps them reach their weight loss goal, tools and incentives to keep participants active and healthy, free checkups and educational classes on eating healthy, losing weight, and physical activity. The Diabetes Prevention Program offers classes in Adar, Mayes, Cherokee, Sequoia, Muskogee, and Delaware counties for interested community members who have been diagnosed with prediabetes. Participants must be a member of a federally recognized tribe and be 18 years or older. And for information about the Cherokee Nation's Diabetes Prevention Program or to become a participant, visit cherokee.org or call 918-453-5776. More than 10 years after drawing national ire by calling for the termination of Indian tribal governments, the Skagit County, Washington Republican Party is at it again, recalling its lead role in the passage of a termination resolution in the 2000 Washington State Republican Party Convention. The Skagit GOP has inserted a plank in its 2012 party platform declaring, "We support action by the Department of Interior to guarantee a representative form of government as mandated by the Constitution to those citizens who are non-tribal members residing on reservation lands." The plank appears aimed at forcing tribal governments to allow non-Indians to vote in tribal elections, a proposal starkly at odds with both tribal sovereignty and U.S. law. The Skagit County plank could be considered for passage at the Washington State Republican Party's upcoming convention from May 30th to June 2nd in Tacoma, Washington. And to continue that story, Skagit County GOP Communications Director Bob Eberly and State Committee woman Claire Everly wrote the plank, which passed at the party's March 31st convention. It apparently sprang from non-Indian opposition to the Swinomish tribe's plan to protect treaty reserve fisheries by limiting activities along environmentally sensitive tribal shorelines that are crucial for salmon and shellfish populations. The 2012 Skagit County platform plank bears a marked resemblance to the Washington State GOP's 2000 termination resolution. The two policy statements share an underlying logic and goal, and both were introduced by individuals in the Skagit County GOP who have supported the outright termination of Indian tribal governments. The Washington State Republican Party's 2000 resolution called on the executive and legislative branches of the federal government to, quote, terminate all such non-Republican forms of government on Indian reservations, unquote. And now we go to Johnny Depp has been made an honorary member of the Comanche tribe, of all things. Depp is in New Mexico shooting the film adaptation of The Lone Ranger. He plays Ranger sidekick Tonto in the film. Comanche Nation tribal member LaDonna Harris said this week that the tribal chairman presented Depp with a proclamation at her Albuquerque home May 16th. She says the Comanche adoption tradition means she now considers Depp her son. Harris says Depp seemed humbled. His spokeswoman, Jane Go, confirmed the actor participated in a ceremony but declined to provide details. Harris says she had read interviews with Depp that said the actor identified himself as being part Native American, so she thought it would be fun to adopt him. She ran the idea by her adult children, and they agreed. Harris said she reached out to the Dark Shadows star through a friend who's working as a cultural advisor on the Lone Ranger's set. Sea-Alaska Heritage Institution official says the nonprofit tribal organization has been awarded nearly $410,000 in scholarships to shareholders and descendants. The scholarships are for students pursuing vocational tech training and graduate and undergraduate degrees in the 2012-2013 school year. Institute President Rosita Worrell says 327 Alaska natives are recipients of the scholarships. According to officials, the scholarships are funded mostly by Sea-Alaska Corporation, the regional native corporation for Southeast Alaska that founded the Heritage Institute. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to say Wawanan for joining with us, and come back again soon.